My next guest is Wynn Kennedy, with deep roots in this community. Her 10-year-old daughter Lucy was at Camp Mystic during the flood on July 4th. Thankfully, she managed to survive. She was airlifted to safety after many terrifying hours. Their home, which sits on the Guadalupe River, was destroyed by the catastrophic flooding. Wynn herself went to Camp Mystic for 9 summers, worked there for 4. She joins us now. Wynn, thank you for being with us. I'm glad you and your family are safe. I know your heart is breaking for so many others who are still waiting for word. Can you just walk us through what Lucy went through at Camp Mystic that night?
Thanks for having me, Anderson. Yes, she told me that her whole cabin woke up around, I guess, 12:30 or 1 a.m. to just loud crashes of thunder. And then her counselors, it was just raining a little bit at that point, so the counselors had them settle down and go back to sleep. But Lucy stayed awake because she just said she had a gut feeling that something was wrong. And I believe around 2 a.m. They heard people, knocking on cabin doors, just saying to grab a flashlight, water bottle, if you can get a blanket, and get together and all go to Rec Hall, which is where it's kind of the auditorium performances are put on at camp. They have a loft inside of Rec Hall that is on the 2nd story. So the girls could get to higher ground and sit above Rec Hall. So she and her cabin mates and counselors just all stuck together, did the buddy system, and just got there in as much of an organized fashion as they could. At that time she said the water was probably up to her calves, and so they just got up there quickly and they all got onto that loft, just sitting on each other's laps and waiting until they waited there probably until, I guess, the sun rose, and waited for the water to recede. Then at that time they were able to leave Rec Hall and walk over to Camp Mystic's Cypress Lake camp that opened a couple years ago. It's on higher ground, so they had plenty of water, food, and shelter. And then from there they waited to, for plans while people were searching, and waited to evacuate.
First of all, how is she doing now, having had this experience? And I know you have a son as well, who he and his dad, your husband, had to leave your home, which has been destroyed.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. I mean, she's really strong. Her instincts, and all of those girls' instincts, I mean, they're wise beyond their years. I just can't even imagine. She does have her moments. She witnessed things that I would never even fathom witnessing in my entire life. She gets very emotional.
She heard a friend of hers getting swept away.
Yes, that's correct. But it was so dark. The only time you could really see, they had their flashlights, but again, running. And but she couldn't see any direction, so they just kept running forward. And so she gets very emotional, especially for that friend, but we've been very open and discussing it. Sometimes she wants to watch the news and talk about it. Sometimes she says, "Mom, please turn that off." But she's speaking with her cabin mates and a lot of camp friends on a daily basis, and we're all kind of just trying. The moms and I, and from her cabin, are have been on a text thread for 3 years since our girls started together, and we're just all trying to be there and get advice. And Camp Mystic also has a great just a great network of therapists and child psychologists and a lot of them were Mystic campers themselves, so we've had a really neat therapist who's done Zooms for the parents to kind of give us advice on how to approach these subjects with the girls. And she's also meeting with her school counselor. She did on Sunday, and she is going again tomorrow. They have a very close relationship, so we're just, trying to be open and honest and just be there and pray. And she wants to help, and my son is the same way. They want to get out there and do their part and clean up. And my son was very scared. And he was just so happy his sister was okay. But he was able, he kind of was the sheriff of the animals and helped my husband get, our dogs and cats out safely. And we're just so lucky and fortunate. And I just can't even, I just am counting my blessings.
Yeah, and I know your daughter gave her Crocs to somebody else who didn't have shoes.
Sure did.
And I can hear the emotion in your voice, and it's not just about your family. I know it's about all the other families as well, and it's about this camp. Can you just talk a little bit about, everybody I've talked to in the last couple of days have just, this camp is more than just like a place you send your kids. This is something, it sounds like a really remarkable and special place.
Thank you. It absolutely is. I feel like what shaped me to be the woman that I am today. I learned
I heard you learned how to change tires. Is that true?
I sure did. And it was in a class called Beauty Inside and Out, which is kind of funny. The Mary Kay lady would come and teach us how to do skincare, but also we learned, wonderful life skills and learned how to be self-sufficient. Ag Stacy, who is the founder of Mystic, she, they taught us how to have great manners and do things like that, but she wanted to teach us how to be self-sufficient. And that's always been Mystic's ideals are about just becoming a better person for being here and treating others the way that you want to be treated. Excuse me, sorry. And it's just about shaping well-rounded individuals. And honestly, I loved college. I feel like my years at Mystic were more beneficial for me as a grown-up and adult, and how I was able to get the jobs that I've been fortunate enough to have, and make the friendships that I've been able to have that are lifelong friendships that Mystic is family. The Eastlands are family to us, and it's so hard to explain if you're not there. But I was employed, I have to say. I was there for 9 summers, but I was a counselor. But when we moved to this area, and we moved because of Mystic, I wanted to be closer.
That was my conversation with Wynn Kennedy. She has a GoFundMe page. We're putting that address up on the screen right now. And for more information about how you can help the flood victims, go to cnn.com/impact. There's a list of organizations there working.